This presentation is geared to get you flirting with, if you haven't already started, with that shift that everyone's been talking about in education. This shift is all about moving from passive to active. Now, previously, it used to be enough to know information or processes, but now it's more about being able to access information efficiently, evaluate it effectively, and use it purposefully. This shift has been slowly evolving over time, but with the advent of recent technologies, Web 2.0 tools, and especially in our new millennium, the shift has taken on seismic proportions. The technology isn't the change, it's the vehicle for it. The change is how the technology impacts the way we think, work, and communicate. As educators, it is imperative that we take on the shift, as it absolutely correlates with the core function of our job. As teachers, we expect our children to learn in order to be participating citizens within our world. We have a hand in influencing their future, and so we must participate in the shift, as this shift is their future. The good news is that we don't have to work on getting familiar with the shift by ourselves. There are lots and lots of us out there. We are all the students, the teachers, and the experts, and our roles intermix. How we are working to guide you through this process is by starting with our own learning. We are going to make a shift ourselves, and that is, we are going to have to participate as students first. Now, this idea is crucial, yet can be so difficult to embrace, understand, and accept. We are so used to being the ones who know the information, and now we have to step out of our own comfort zones and rethink the way that we do business. However, one of the best and most pleasurable ways to learn new things occurs when you are. We believe people feel this way after good learning occurs or after they've engaged in good learning. These are great feelings, and personally, I always love the feeling after I learn something new. Can you think of times when you have felt this way in your own learning experiences? Another key to successful and sustained learning is motivation. The more control we have over the direction of our own learning, the more motivated we become. But it's not always that easy, and often you can feel like this. But we want the opportunity to share some tools we've experienced in our PLP group, because what is required of us now is to rethink how we learn and get information and share it and revisit it. We also want to share the learning we've done and show how it has impacted our thinking. Now, we know this is one of the biggest roadblocks. One positive of the shift is the value it has on our time. We have tools to use that can make our time asynchronous. Information, ideas can be shared and stored to be accessed when it is a good time for us. It is the ultimate in 24/7 access. The idea of creating a network is a huge component in addressing the shift. There's a lot of power here because your network is your connection for information, and you do a great deal of self-directive, active learning here. Now, your network can be huge, global nowadays, but it's also important to include and involve people in your small network, which can be your school, your district, your county. These 21st century technologies enable you to benefit from the ability to network with anyone in the world just as easily as you can with the person next door. Working on creating our network is partially where we get to practice rethinking how we think and get the information, ideas, and inspiration to be productive. This network is where we can take on this 21st century shift we've been hearing about. Engaging in this process leads to growth, and what I love about this process is it has had such a strong influence on not only my professional learning, but also my personal interests. I have been amazed at how much my own thinking has changed and grown and developed in just a short period of time. I can enrich my knowledge in both personal and professional areas because I know how to navigate through the tools. I can harness all kinds of knowledge available in this exciting 21st century, and just as importantly, I can share it easily too.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they could change the world are the ones who do.
So here is where we get the work done. We can work together and strengthen our community by making a paradigm shift and cast ourselves in the role as students first. And here's the main point of this whole presentation. If you can only remember one thing from today, please retain this. You know that old saying, physician, heal thyself? Well, we have to become 21st century learners ourselves before we can be good 21st century teachers for our students. Because you can't model or teach what you can't do or don't know. So it starts here with us. We get to paint the picture. We get to own it and use it and make a positive impact on our students. We need to do this.